What's happening everyone, my name is Alex and welcome back. In today's video we are checking out the latest dash camera from 70mm. The one that we have here today, it's called the 70mm A810 4K HDR camera system. So this is a dual channel camera system. That means that you have one camera that records in front of the vehicle and one camera that records behind the vehicle. Now this is also the first dash camera that I got to try up until now that has 4G connectivity. So you can buy an additional 4G module for this camera and then you can actually see what the camera sees when you're not in the vehicle. The camera can also send you notifications and much more. So a very connected dash camera system, I'm gonna say. Now, with that being said, let's start by doing a bit of an unboxing so I can show you what comes in the box with this camera, how you install it, and so on. So let's jump in the car and let me tell you about what comes in the box with this. All right, so the camera system comes in this box right here. Not a big box considering everything that comes in the box. So inside the box, you're gonna find the main unit. This is the main unit right here. And you're also gonna get the rear camera. The rear camera is much smaller and the rear camera basically gets connected to the main unit here through a cable. Of course, you're going to find that cable so you can connect both cameras together. We also have a power cable. So that power cable goes into the power adapter and that goes into the cigarette lighter port in your vehicle. You're also going to find a couple of electrostatic stickers. You basically put those on the windshield and the rear window, and basically the cameras, well, the mounts for the cameras attached to those. So nice and easy, and if you do have to remove those, they're not going to leave anything on the windows. So that's pretty much all that you're going to find in the box. Of course, the user manual, but these cameras are extremely simple to use. Now, aside from that, as I mentioned earlier, you could buy the 4G hardwiring kit for this camera system. So if you install this, of course, this takes SIM card. So it is a fairly small unit. If you do install this, you're going to have to hardwire it to your vehicle. And then that powers the camera. So you power the camera through the 4G hardwiring kit. And if you do install this in your vehicle, then you can actually see what the camera sees when you're not in the vehicle. The camera will send you notifications every time it senses some motion. If someone bumps in your vehicle, it will send you notifications. So you do get a more complete system if you do get to install this in your vehicle. However, if you don't want to go through this, you can just use the regular power cable and power the camera normally without having 4G capabilities. So it is entirely up to you if you want to have a more complete system, a safer system in a way, because you can see what happens to the car when you're not in the car or close to the car. So it really depends on you and, well, basically your needs. But if you do install this, you do get a more complete system, I'm gonna say. Now, the overall installation process for this camera is very simple. Realistically, you just mount these electrostatic stickers on your windshield, and what's gonna take you the longest is actually hiding the cables throughout the car. It really depends how well you wanna hide those cables, because for some people it doesn't matter. But if you don't want to see any of those cables throughout the car, it's going to take you a bit longer to hide them. But overall, the installation process is extremely easy and pretty much anyone can do it. Now, if you're going to be installing the hardwiring kit, maybe you should get a professional to do this if you're not sure what you're doing. However, the manufacturer does have an installation video on their website, and I guess I will leave a link to that in the video's description just so you can check that out if you're not sure how to install the hardwiring kit. Now, for those of you that haven't heard of 70mm before, basically 70mm has been making dash cameras for a long time. I personally got to try about 7 or 8 of their dash cameras that they've made in the past, and I will actually leave a couple of links in the video's description to some past video reviews that I've done for some 70mm cameras. But basically, they have been making dash cameras for a long time, and they are one of the main players in the dash camera world, I'm gonna say. All right, so before we go any further, let's take a super quick look at the camera itself. So first of all, we have the lens right here. The lens is adjustable, so you can move it up or down. So depending how you have the dash camera positioned on the windshield, you can kind of adjust this so you have the best viewing angle. On the back here, we have a pretty large screen, so you can switch in the view for the front camera or the rear camera. So we have 4 buttons at the bottom here. So this is not a touch screen, but you don't really need that in a dash camera. And we have a few buttons here at the bottom. So from those buttons, you can basically access menus on the camera, change menus on the camera, or you can do that through the app. So for there is an app, so you can actually connect to the camera with your smartphone, and from that app you can change settings, but you can change the same settings from the camera itself. You can also download footage from the app and so on. On the side of the camera here, we have the slot for the SD card, then we have the power port, and then we have the other ports. You can connect the rear camera to this unit. On the other side of the camera, we just have one button, and at the bottom here, we have some holes so the heat can dissipate from the camera, the same holes at the top here as well. And on the front of the camera here, we basically put the mount, so we mount the camera on the windshield. So the 70mm 4K A810 is like having your own high-tech driving buddy, keeping you safe on the road with its cutting-edge features. This is also the first 4K 4G dash camera with the Sony Starvis 2 technology. That means that you're gonna get super sharp and super crisp videos during the day and at night, so very important. This dash camera also features ADAS, that means Advanced Driver's Assistance Systems. So that basically lets you know when the car in front of you starts moving, if the car in front of you brakes, if you're drifting from your lane and so on. So you can enable that or not. Now my vehicle has this built in from the factory, so I didn't actually have to enable it on the camera, but if you do have an older vehicle, maybe it's a good thing to enable that because it brings another safety feature to the overall car and camera system, I'm gonna say. Alright, so next we're gonna go on a short drive just so I can show you some recordings that I've done during the day, of course, with that front camera and the rear camera. All the recordings that you're gonna be seeing from the front camera were done in 4K, where the recordings done with the rear camera, of course, are gonna be done in 1080p. With that being said, let's check out those recordings and I will be right back. Alright, so as you've seen for yourself, those daytime recordings do look quite good, and I'm mostly talking about the recordings that I've done with that front camera, because of course the front camera does record in 4K, so the footage from it is super sharp and super crisp. You can clearly see the license plates on all the cars around you, not to mention that the dynamic range in those videos is probably better than anything that I've seen from any dash camera up until now. Now, the rear camera, of course, records in 1080p, so it's not going to be as sharp and as crisp as the recordings that you're going to get from that front camera, but still you can still see the license plates on all those cars behind you. So overall, really good video quality from the front and the rear cameras. Next, we're gonna move on and check out some recordings that I've done at night. So I'm gonna show you some recordings done with that front camera, and of course some recordings done with the rear camera. And you have to see that mountain. Hopefully Laura can spin the camera and show you that mountain, because it does look super cool. Check that out. All right, so let's check out those nighttime recordings and I will be right back. And just a bit of extra info while you watch the night footage. So the A810 is powered by 70mm night owl vision. With its f1.8 large aperture, it pulls in more light, ensuring crystal clear recordings even in the darkest nights. It also features 70mm exclusive May Color Vivid Plus image technology. This optimizes the footage quality, ensuring accurate colors and stability even in complex lighting environments. And also with 70mm self-developed IQ tuning strategy, the A810 intelligently enhances the clarity of license plate areas. So whether it's day or night, you will notice that the license plates on those vehicles around you are nice and sharp. And with that being said, I'll let you guys finish watching the night samples and I will be right back. And as you've seen for yourself, those nighttime recordings do look quite impressive. Now, depending how the light hits those license plates, you can see them better or not. It really depends on the situation, because in some situations, the way the light reflects in some license plates, it's hard to see. However, the footage from that front unit, this front unit here, is super bright, super crisp, really good. Probably the best that I've seen from any dash camera at night anyways, up until now. Now, the footage from that rear camera, of course, is not going to be as sharp, mostly because the rear camera records in 1080p, so it doesn't do 4K like this one. And once again, it really depends how the lights hit those license plates. You can see them better or not. So it really depends on the situation. So there you have it. This was a super quick look at the 70mm 810 4K HDR camera system. As always, there will be some links in the video's description, so you can check this out. If there are any coupon codes, I will also leave those in the video's description and so on. Alright guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching and I'll see you guys in the next one.